The Stations of the Cross, the fifth and sixth stations. Station 5, Simon of Cyrene carries the cross. The 15th chapter of the Gospel of Mark. A man called Simon from Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and he pressed him into service to carry his cross. Human life is lived as a life of chance encounters. Each day is a day unlike yesterday or tomorrow. Each day is in so many ways unique. Chance encounters shape our lives, for good or ill. As with us, so with Jesus in his life of full humanity. Chance encounters for him, from angels ministering to him at the end of the time of temptation, to the Samaritan woman giving him a drink at the well, despite his previous apparent rejection of her. So many other occasions, times when he needed others for support. God, in his wisdom, makes us all dependent people, dependent upon each other, sharing with each other, ministering to each other. Simon of Cyrene, perhaps simply a visitor to Jerusalem, just one of many standing at the roadside, and perhaps wondering what crime had been committed by the tortured human being staggering past him. The person falls and remains motionless under the heavy balk of timber he was carrying. Suddenly, a soldier pulls Simon out of the crowd and forces him to pick up the timber. Simon, we can surmise, was angry and annoyed, and did not willingly accept the task, but he had no choice. But Jesus needed him. He needed help. So perhaps, in rather dramatic fashion, Simon was called by God to help, as we are all called to be with Christ as his helpers in this world. As with Simon, so with us all. We are all reluctant, even resentful, certainly resisting when first called by God to follow him. So very inconvenient when the call gets in the way of worldly pleasures and ambitions. Yet in answering that call, we are transformed. We receive a grace that overcomes any selfish needs that we hold, and we are changed. Not always most obviously, but changed we are. Simon of Cyrene bore the cross of Jesus most unwillingly. Yet in that bearing he was changed. Changed, so we are told by Mark, changed into a disciple, and then his sons in turn became members of the early Christian communities. Wherever Christ is met, lives completely change. In carrying others' burdens, we are faithful to Christ's exhortation. Love one another as I have loved you. Amen. Lord, teach us to help one another in times of struggle. Help us to overcome our own selfishness. Help us to reach out to those in despair, those broken and bowed down by the pressures placed upon them as they live out their lives. Amen. Jesus, may I be unashamed to accept help when I need it, and may I be eager to offer when others have needs. May our mutual dependence be a source of joy and an occasion for grace, uniting us in the community of your love. Amen. The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. The book of the prophet Isaiah. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by others, a man of suffering and acquainted with grief, and as one from whom others hide their faces. He was despised, and we held him in no account. Amen. The disfigured face resembled all those faces of men and women marred by a life which does not respect their dignity. Selfishness, war and violence, afflicting those most unable to respond, those who are weakest, those who cry for help. It is only legend which says that a woman came forward to wipe the face of Jesus. A story that names the woman as Veronica, Vera Icon, the true image, with a legend that the true image of Christ became imprinted on the cloth which was used to wipe his face. Tradition and truth perhaps merging to produce a story that has a close reflection in the beliefs surrounding the Shroud of Turin. Tradition also has it that Veronica is the very woman whom Jesus cured of her hemorrhages. The simple act attributed to Veronica is humanity in its simplicity. She dares the wrath of the soldiers in approaching Jesus. It is indeed a simple act of mercy to wipe his face, yet an eternal act of compassion, a compassion to which we all should strive to emulate. Veronica is not, as already highlighted, an historical figure, in that she is named in our Gospels. And yet Veronica is us all in any acts of kindness and humanity that we may perform. The crowd stand. They mock Jesus for his all too evident frailty. But it is not beyond the bounds of possibility that one person had the courage and compassion to step forward and offer an act of kindness. Amen. Lord, you taught in both word and deed that love conquers all. Move our hearts to offer love to all we meet in this life of ours. May the bonds of love sustain us in our daily lives and in our striving to bring others to you. Lord of love, open us to one another. Open our hearts so that love can flow freely from them. Give us the grace to overcome all that stops us from loving one another. And may we always follow the example of Veronica. Amen.